The second religious painting, which I began in 2015 but only managed to finish this year, is of the Holy Family. It was inspired in the first place by Correggio's Adoration of the Child, which is one of my favorite paintings in the Uffizzi's collection. I made a point of copying the proportions of Correggio's painting and repeating certain elements from his composition. The poses of the Virgin and Child were inspired by a drawing by Sigismondo Cavola, which I knew from the Art Institute of Chicago, as well as Michelangelo's painting of the Holy Family, the Doni Tondo, in the Uffizi. My representation of the Virgin also recalls a famous painting of the Virgin and Child by Carlo Maratta. The figure of Joseph follows a standard posture, variations of which are found in many different images of the Holy Family. The somewhat implausible assortment of architecture and scenery was selected for iconographic reasons. The marble column, with its elaborate colorful veins, foreshadows the flagellation. The yellow rosebush alludes to the Madonna of the Roses and the Rosary, to say nothing of the crown of thorns. The pool of water alludes to the baptism of Christ, as well as to the story of Moses, who was drawn from the water by a daughter of Pharaoh, Christ being to the new covenant what Moses was to the old covenant. The stones in the water anticipate the temptation of Christ when Satan would tempt Jesus to turn a stone into bread. The palm trees in the background allude to the entry into Jerusalem, and the manger, of course, alludes to the Nativity. The sprig of cherries, which Joseph holds, is a common motif in paintings of the Madonna and Child, symbolizing the fruit of the tree of life, namely the Eucharist. The unusual illumination of the Virgin's face, which is actually in shadow, but illuminated by reflected light, is a motif picked up from another famous painting by Correggio of the Nativity, in which the light emanates from the Christ child, Christ being the metaphorical sun and the Virgin the moon. His face is in light, while her light is a reflected light.